Welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Ladar Gravelazian. Coming up in today's newscast. Israel celebrates its 75th birthday with fireworks, air shows, and more. A pro-Israel bipartisan bill in honor of Israel's Independence Day passes in the U.S. Congress by a majority. And ILTV sits down with the head winemaker at Barkan winery, one of Israel's most popular wineries. Israel celebrated its 75th Independence Day as Israelis came together, flying flags and taking part in barbecues, picnics, and special events and ceremonies around the country. The highlight was the spectacular flyby performed by the Israel Air Force, along with foreign planes of Israeli allies. And taking it all in was ILTV's Steve Leibovitz.
At the close of Memorial Day and the start of Independence Day festivities, President Isaac Herzog hosted IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi and 120 outstanding soldiers, a yearly event held at the President's house. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gallant were at the event. The IDF Chief of Staff said, "The Army is the broadest common denominator of Israeli citizens. All who serve in it love their people, their country, and their homeland." On Independence Day, Israelis traditionally get together in groups of family and friends in picnics and barbecues on any open space in nature. The warm spring day and the holiday spirit brought droves to the beaches and public and national parks.
Today is especially meaningful to me because 2 years ago we made Aliyah, our family, from America, and we wanted to be a part of the Jewish nation. So this is Israel Independence Day, and Israel is a place where we can thrive and express our truest selves as Jews.
The public was treated to exciting Air Force flybys around the country that included F-15 and F-16 fighters and F-35 stealth fighters, transport and attack helicopters, Heron drones, and more. Flybys are a highlight of the annual celebrations, and this year over 100 planes took part, including foreign pilots who joined for the flyover.
At the end, to top off the fly pass, we flew over Jerusalem and over the Knesset, and did a couple of 360s over the Knesset, and that was a very nice experience with the Israelis that performed very professional, and everything was on a very coordinated level.
A highlight of Independence Day is always the International Bible Quiz in Jerusalem, and this year was history-making. Top Jewish teens from all over the world took part in the contest, and for the first time, first and second place were won by girls. 17-year-old Emuna Cohen from the town of Bnei Netzarim in the northern Negev was the winner. Ahead of Independence Day, the Central Bureau of Statistics issued updated population figures of 9.7 million people in Israel. The number includes 7.1 million, or 73% Jews, and 2 million, or 21% Arab, and 5.5% other. Israel's population grew by 216,000, with 183,000 new babies born and about 79,000 immigrant arrivals. Over 3.3 million immigrants have arrived in Israel since the establishment of the state. At the time of the establishment of the State of Israel, the population of Israel was only 806,000. It has increased by 12 times since 1948.
Israel standing strong at 75. And so we know the news is fast-paced, and we want to let you know that ILTV's new app is now available. So if you want to stay connected to the latest news from Israel, the Middle East, and the Jewish world, download our app now on all your devices. It's available in the App Store for both Android and iPhone. And it was a real show of love from the United States to Israel, marking the 75th year of independence for the Jewish state. President Biden and Congress both issued strong messages of support, while leading U.S. landmarks were lit up in blue and white. Landmarks across the United States were illuminated in Israel's national colors: the Empire State Building, New York City Hall, Niagara Falls, and San Francisco's Transamerica Pyramid Tower, to name a few. Soon after President Biden praised what he termed the resilience of Israel's democracy, the bedrock for our robust and special relationship, Congress overwhelmingly passed a pro-Israel resolution. House Resolution 311, heralding the importance of the U.S.-Israel relationship An expansion of the Abraham Accords passed by an overwhelming vote of 401 to 19. 18 of the dissenting votes came from progressive Democrats.
First, it gets the landmark Inflation Reduction Act, which is not only addressing inflation, but is the largest ever effort in our nation's history to combat climate change and lower the cost of prescription drugs. Second, it grows the already large tax gap and irresponsibly adds to the deficit. The bill, seemingly with bad intention, guts tools at the IRS to be both more responsive to responsible.
Most of those voting against Tuesday's pro-Israel resolution also opposed Iron Dome funding in 2021. Yet, the bipartisan bill passed with overwhelming support from both sides of the aisle. And as the United States Congress has shown its overwhelming support for Israel, so too is Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is on a visit to Israel ahead of a possible 2024 presidential run. Let's take a look. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis hailed Israel as one of the most valued and trusted allies of the United States as he visited Jerusalem on Thursday. Speaking at a conference hosted by the Museum of Tolerance and the Jerusalem Post, DeSantis addressed the many threats facing Israel and highlighted the importance of the U.S.-Israel relationship.
We've seen the targeting of Israel by international organizations and by movements such as Boycott, Divest, and Sanction, BDS. And, of course, hanging over all this is the specter of a nuclear-armed Iran hell-bent on the complete destruction of the Jewish state. And yet, through all these challenges, Israel stands tall as a beacon of freedom in a troubled region, an engine of economic growth and opportunity, and a center of innovation and technology that is the envy of the world. Israel is also one of America's most valued and trusted allies. Maintaining a strong U.S.-Israel relationship has been a priority for me during my time in elective office, and I know it's been a priority for the overwhelming majority of the American people.
DeSantis also distinctly acknowledged a united Jerusalem as Israel's capital and said it was important the U.S. maintain its embassy in Jerusalem. He also condemned the UN for its blatant anti-Israel bias.
The U.S. has been proud to stand with Israel in the face of Israel being singled out for unprecedented and unfair international criticism and political attacks. UN resolutions since 2015. The UN has passed 125 condemnatory resolutions against Israel, but only 55 such resolutions for the entire rest of the world. How could you possibly justify that type of action?
DeSantis was visiting Israel as part of a multi-country trip that also included visits to Japan, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. There is great speculation that this trip is a prelude to a possible 2024 presidential run announcement, though so far DeSantis has played down the possibility. Regardless, his trip here in Israel has reiterated his strong connection and support to the Jewish state. And joining us now to discuss the significance of Governor DeSantis' visit and more is Gidon Israel, founder and president of the Jerusalem Washington Center. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So before we talk about Governor DeSantis, I want to address the U.S. Congress pro-Israel bill. There was a growing amount of Democrats voting against this bill, even though the vast majority of Congress voted really overwhelmingly in favor. What's your take on this?
So this was a House resolution, really a generic House resolution supporting Israel on its 75th anniversary. There really wasn't much to be against. Like I said, it was generic, saying that we support Israel, the economic relationship, the security relationship, Abraham Accords. So to vote against it, either you have to be kind of against the U.S.-Israel relationship or have something, serious beef with some part of the bill.